Testimonies through the years. It's another episode. Yeah. I promised you I'll be bringing another testimony from our journey with our children. Okay, so today I'm sharing another testimony of a miracle that God did for us. Uh, hmm, hmm. Hey, okay, let me start. All right, so this very day, I'd gone to church, the church we were worshiping at the time, somewhere around Yaba. So I was working on the decorations, preparing for the next service on Sunday. It was it a Thursday or Friday? I wanted to just do it so that I wanted to start to maybe complete it the following day, because it was quite a lot. So I had been there for a while. Then I checked the time. I felt, oh, it's almost time for me to pick the children from, well, it wasn't a school, it was more like a creche. There's a center for babies. Yeah, it was a creche slash home, after school kind of place where you can bring your kids. But they were there because my son was still a baby at the time, or should I just say, yeah, a baby, yes, a baby. Then the older one was about 4, okay, so, or 3, between 3 and 4. I don't remember the age precisely. So I was at Yaba. The crash was at Surulere, and all this Yaba traffic sometimes. So I thought, let me go on time so I don't get caught up in traffic, because there's a time limit to when you can pick your kids, and I didn't want to exceed the time, so I wanted to leave on time. So I so I tried to wrap up what I was doing, leave it in a good way that it would be easy for me to pick up from there the following day, pack up the pins and thumb tags and all that and do that. Then I was done and I bent down to pick my bag, which was on the floor on the rug. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's funny now, but then it was nothing close to funny. Okay, so I bent down to pick my bag, and immediately as I bent down, ah, I just felt this sharp, it felt like labor pain just hit me in my belly. I could not straighten back up. I just screamed, ah! And it came with this burden, like it was instant, just came over me like I needed to pray, like immediately. It was heavy. It felt like, if you have ever had labor pains, you will understand what I'm saying. I just said like that. Ah, that was what all I could not even speak in tongues. I was groaning instantly. I just went to the floor straight. I was just going, ah, ah. I was confused. I said, I'm not pregnant. Even if I'm pregnant, what thing I want born? What am I about to? No, it was a burden, but it was intense. I was just groaning deeply. There was a brother in the church on the auditorium at the same time. He was working in the media department. I think he was editing something. I don't know what he was doing on the system somewhere in the corner. The guy was just, it was late at the end of everything that I now saw the way he was looking at. But at that point, I didn't even remember that there was anybody. Ah, I was groaning like that. Groaning, groaning. I was sweating. Mucus were coming from my nose, tears from my eyes. I felt like, God, what am I even praying about? I had no clue. I was just groaning, groaning, groaning. At a point, I was able to mutter out a word, and all I could hear myself say was, mercy, mercy, Lord, mercy, Lord, mercy. Ah, I kept on groaning. It was like I was using all of the energy inside me. I was, like I wanted to bet something. Hey, My people, hmm, I was there for about 45 minutes because I remember I checked the time. I knew the time I wanted to leave, you understand? And the time I said, okay, I'm going now. And I had already said bye bye to that brother. And I picked, just bent down to pick. So I knew what the time was. So this went on for, it got to a point I just, by the time I was, suddenly the pain, the burden, everything just lifted faintly, like slowly. It got better. It eased off. Then I was able to, at this point, I was already on the floor. I was not able to push myself and sit up on the podium. Hey, you know, that I just busted into tears. I just started crying. Now, this one was not burden again, as in it was fear. I was just crying that God, what was that? What is going on? What was I even praying? I had no clue. I said that this one is serious. So this one, I've been having burdens before then, but that one was too sudden, too. Hey, sometimes you have burdens that you can still say, okay, let me get home. I'll go and deal with this body. I could not. This one was not. I didn't have a choice. I could not move. I froze on the spot. I cried for a bit. I cried for a bit then. I wiped my face, tried to comport myself and say, by now I'm late. This one is not late. I don't want to be late. When I checked them, I was like, what will I tell these people? And I don't like their faces when you are late. The way they'll be looking at you as if just come and carry your child like oh my god. So I was really thinking, hey, the traffic would have been much better. I don't like these people now. Hi, I did God. So I got up, packed my stuff, and left. As I was going, my mind was racing back and forth like, what could I have been praying about? What could have been this serious that God hit me without warning like this? I could not place it. So when I got to the center, my mind went to my children. Like I felt, I just hope there's nothing wrong with my children. No. God, this one. Okay. So I got to the center. I went in, I saw both of my children. Okay, so my mind was like, okay, it's not them. Like, okay, maybe when my husband comes back from work, I will ask him, how was your day? Oh my God. So I saw both of my children and my mind was at rest. Okay, okay. Then all of a sudden, like three or four of the staff there, they're not like, eh, they were not stammering, looking at each other. I said, what's going on? Um, um, please, promise us you will not tell madam. That's the owner of the creche, who was my friend. Uh, tell her what. Promise us first that you will not tell madam. I said, well, I cannot promise you that. If it is something that she ought to know about, I will tell her. And in short, I will not be the one to tell her. I will make sure you tell her by yourself. So I cannot promise you what I cannot promise you. If there's anything I need to know, tell me. If there's anything your boss needs to know, you will tell her. Then one of them said, if you know what your daughter did to us today. I said, what did my daughter do to you? He said, the winner said, you say it, you say it. I said, please stop this, just talk. And I used to play with them, I used to, so it wasn't like I was a stranger to them. So, like, eh, can I believe that Grace left the center? She left the premise. She, that she actually went out of the compound. I said, she went out of the compound. Where did she go? Said they didn't know. In short, the deep part was that they did not know that she had left the center. They didn't know that any child left the center. What happened was electricity went off. So one of the staff went out to turn on the generator. So it was the time she left. Maybe she left the door open, or I don't know. It was that time that she my daughter went out of the building, out of the premise, and they had no idea. So she just finished turning on the gen at the backyard, came back inside, shut the door, and continued her work, not knowing that any child had left. Hmm. I said, how did you now know that she left? He said, it was a strange man that brought her back. I said, a strange man. I said, what do you mean by strange man? He said, it's not any of the people, the person is not from this area, that they don't know the person. It was a stranger that brought her. Now, if you know where this crash was, once you come out like this, you're on the main road. Once you step out, it's a busy road. It's a busy road that has traffic lights. There's traffic lights just by the for you to there's a T major T junction. T junction. Cars coming this way, coming this way. I said, he said she was away for 1 hour. They didn't know that any child was missing until that strange man brought her back to the center. That was when they now said, you mean Grace is not here? You mean she's not? When did she go? When? They now started troubleshooting. Now I say, oh, it must have been when she went to put on to turn on the generator. She now checked the time and knew that between then and now, that was like an hour. And I asked them, I said, what time was it that you went to turn on the gen that this thing happened? By the time she told me the time, it was the exact time that I bent down to pick my bag. I said, ha! Hey! It was the exact time I bent down to pick my bag. I said, bye bye, I'm going. So the Lord hit me. Come, you are not going yet. Your daughter is in danger. When they say a strange man in my mind, I knew it's not a stranger. It's an angel. It must be no. It has to be. It can only be. Now consider the fact that this girl was not talking at that time. She wasn't speaking. So, and the center is a crèche. They don't have uniform. So it's not that somebody would have known that, oh, this is the uniform of this school. Let me take her back there. Or they would have asked her, oh, what's your name? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? She could not speak at that time. When she said that time, I said, God, you are amazing. Father, only you can do these things. You know when they say that song that says, Oba Kabiesi, only you can do these things. There is no one else like you, Lord. A strange man brought her back. I just want to give God the praise. I just bless God. I just bless. See, those children, they taught me. They taught me another level of prayer. This whole matter. It helped me, my faith to be stronger. Oh God, because you need more than yourself to look after. If you have a child that has special needs, no, you need extra grace. You need every parent needs grace, but if your child has special needs, you need extra grace. Hey, I didn't want to think about it. That where could she possibly have been for 1 hour? I was just thinking of that whole place. Anything could have happened. She could have been hit by a car. She could have been kidnapped. She could have been molested. Only God knows. Anything could have happened. Only God knows the places she had been to in that 1 hour. Only God knows. But my faithful Father, the God that I'm serving, hey, Kalabarabusha. I pray that God will not bypass you when you need to pray. That the Lord will help you to be sensitive when you need to pray. That God will help you to be sensitive, to pick the signals in the spirit when you need to pray. All right. Testimonies through the years coming live at you. I'll be back with another testimony shortly. All right. God bless you. See you soon. Bye for now.